Buyers are swarming for bargains. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Let's have a look at this article from realestate.com.au which is discussing Underball, Oyen, Walpiup, buyers swarming for bargain homes near Mildura. So, could this be? We've seen some people planning to leave Melbourne. Could this see the beginning of it? Because, well, let's jump over here. This is where Mildura is, on the Murray River, in far northwestern Victoria. Right up here. There you go. I mean, it's a little remote, guys. Little remote. I can't say I've ever been there. I think where did we go? When we went up to Queensland, we went through Yea on the border, or somewhere here. And through Wagga Wagga. We've got some interesting names here in Australia, but, you know, you're closer to Adelaide than you are to Melbourne, guys. You're closer to Adelaide than you are to Melbourne. So just keep that in mind when they're talking about property here. I mean, you're heading to desert country here, aren't you? So, and just keep that in mind when they're talking about these bargain properties. A house south of Mildura that went viral after being listed for the price of a luxury car has sold as cheap as chips cash deal. The 3-bedroom house in Underball, renowned as the gateway to the Pink Lakes, fetched $63,500 after accruing more than 20,000 views on realestate.com.au to be one of the site's most popular listings in recent weeks. This was slightly above its $60,000 asking price. Well, I mean, guys, it's in the middle of nowhere, okay? Guys, it's in the middle of nowhere. Come on. Burns & Co. Mildura agent in Myers said the substantial 1,244 square metre property on 29 Monash Avenue attracted about 8 offers before it sailed to a buyer from the Carn River in East Gippsland. I mean, it looks lovely. It looks lovely. It's beautiful. For 60 grand, guys, I'd go it. Definitely. If you got NBN there, probably wouldn't. That'd be the problem. Fortunately, he didn't lose his home in the fires earlier this year, but he wanted a second property in case that sort of thing happened. He's got friends in South Australia just over the border, not far from Underball, so he'd like to live here a couple of months a year. It's a good place to live. The Pink Lakes are quite an attraction. Underball wasn't the only Mildura fringe town proving popular with out-of-town buyers, he said. I mean, what do you think? Here's another one. I mean, they've got a bit of solar there, although I can't imagine the shade from the AC is going to hit it, but still. I mean, that's perfectly fine kitchen. If you wanted to jazz it up, whack a coat of paint on the cupboards. You know, get a white stain. That would look fantastic. He reported being flooded with inquiries for 5-bedroom homes on 2,000 square meters of land, which were listed for about $95,000. Now, the only problem in these regional towns, well, one of the problems is employment. What are you going to do for work? What if there is no work out there? And in some of the regional parts of Australia, there's a lot of social issues, a lot of ICE, a lot of unemployment, hopelessness. These are things to consider. And these communities can be quite insular too if you're going out there. So not only did it offer an affordable asking price, but the property has a solar system that would allow whoever bought it to save on their power bill. Well, that's always a good thing in Victoria, particularly with South Australia power getting so expensive. We've got plenty of sun up here, he said. Buyers were also swarming all over a 3-bedroom weatherboard for an asking price of $75,950 at 7 Main Street Speed. Mr. Myers said he was finding he couldn't get enough properties on the market at the moment, with Melburnians increasingly forming part of the buyer pool for homes in the state's northwest. So people may want to get out of the city and may want to have a bit more room to breathe, actually have a yard. If you're stuck for months inside a tiny little apartment, I can see how something like this is appealing. You know, just getting outside. Everyone wants to escape, he said. The last 3 properties I sold in Oyen were to buyers from Ringwood East, Hastings and San Remo, all Melbourne, and they were going to be owner-occupiers. One of the buyers made it perfectly clear to me that pandemic is the reason he's leaving, as he can now work from home more. Well, there you have it. A Melbourne-based buyer snatched up this property for 90 grand. I mean, look at it. Perfectly fine. I mean, well, at least from the photos. Needs less work than my place, that's for sure. And look at the kitchen. One of these homes at 20 Fuller Street sold for $73,500. The other at 20 Gregory Street for 90 grand. Mr. Myers also recently transacted a couple of Orion shops for $85,000 in another cash deal. Well, see, this is why you can still do, cash transactions. Guys, cash transactions. But these sales aren't even as affordable as it gets, with the agent also inking several sales for $40,000 to $46,000. I mean, this is the thing. You're just buying the house and the land. You're not going to get any profit on this. I can't see, don't expect any growth in your property here. You're not going to get the same returns. You're just buying a place to live, guys. You're buying a place to live. Let's have a look. Let's see. We'll jump in here. Can we do it? Yep. I mean, there we go. This is not a small town by any regards, guys. Oh, there you go. You've even got a Macca's. You've got a little country town. I mean, this is nice. Frankly, it's a lot nicer than the country towns I drive through in Victoria, in Queensland. I guess probably because they haven't had the drought when Google went through here. That's the big thing as well. If it's all nice and green and growing, I mean, there you go. Look at that big town. Where are we looking at here? Let's have a look here. Let's look at Kurlong. Somewhere a little further out. I mean, there you go. What do you think, guys? Perfectly fine. If you could do it. So, there we have it, guys. More sign that people are leaving Melbourne. We've got another article that looked at people heading up to far north Queensland. Looks like some of them are heading out of the city. Where else can we go? I mean, it's a bit of a drive. I mean, that's as the crow flies. Let's get here. We'll do a tape measure. How far are you from Melbourne? You're 463 kilometers. So for me to get a perspective on that, for Brisbaneite, well, there you go. That's more than Toowoomba. That's 4 times out at Toowoomba. So how far would I have to go inland to get the same thing? Okay, nope. Yeah, we're talking pretty far, guys. We're talking pretty far. There you go. So round about there. What was even out there? What do we have? St. George. Okay, so this is the equivalent of moving out to St. George for all us Brisbaneites, guys. For moving out to St. George. So let's have a look. We'll do the same thing. We'll compare a little Victorian remote town of St. George to a Queensland one. We can see here. I mean, here you go. It's a little hotter, isn't it? And it's just the different construction typology too, where a lot of our Queenslanders, we've got raised. I mean, this is what we have on our house, and I'm going to lift it up and build underneath. And it has a lot of environmental properties too. It's a cool space under the house. So here you have it. So the Victorians are rushing to move to their Melburnian equivalent of going out to St. George. At least here you got the fruit picking. And the pub. So there we have it, guys. As always, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Would you make a move like that? 100 grand for a house, paid out. But you're nearly 500 kilometers away from your capital city. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, have a great day. I'll see you next time.